dreams are not impossible. A lot of people look at dreams as something that is a dream, not real. It's fake. It's imaginary. That's not true. Dreams can be a reality if you make it your reality. Dreams are what we believe. So if you believe in something and you work for that, you're going to achieve it. Those dreams are a little glimpse of what you have later in life.
You are now listening to The Gradient Radio, an open space to converse about creativity with creatives. And I am your host, Antonio Knox. And today, we have a special guest. This creative has taken the social media world by storm. The visuals he has created with kids at play to the knowledge he has dropped on TikTok. Today, our guest is Noah Hudson Peralta, aka NHP.
What's good, man?
What's good, bro?
How's it going?
I'm good, bro. Just, trying to get used to like being in front of the camera, like speaking.
Feel that.
Just kind of like doing the introduction process. But thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yes, man. I think this is going to be a great conversation for not only us, but for the people that are listening and watching.
No doubt.
So for the people who may not know who NHP is, could you introduce yourself?
Honestly, man, I don't even know where to start. My name's Noah Hudson Peralta. I'm 20 years old. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I live in Virginia now, Richmond. I'm a tour photographer, videographer. I make music videos, album covers. I do all of that. I also started doing like commercials a long time ago. I do documentaries. I do pretty much anything in filmmaking. I'm also a TikToker where I talk about hats, fashion, music, pretty much everything. Just kind of like a lifestyle account. I also have a couple online businesses. So I just do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, it seems like you are a multi-disciplinary like individual creative.
I'd like to think that for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you get your start? From obviously, like you do so much now. Like, how did you begin?
So it all started kind of when I was a kid. I always had a camera in my hand. I always play with these model trains, like these Thomas the Trains, and I would always take pictures of the sets when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. So I've always had a camera. And then when I got into high school, I took a video class, and it was kind of just random. We were taking a tour of our career tech school, and I found my way into the video class, and I was like, dang, this is really cool. This is kind of when Casey Neistat was coming about. So I was a huge fan of him, how he was filmmaking. So I was like, dang, this is something I want to do. And I put my hands on a camera and just fell back in love with it instantly. And kind of from there, I just really went hard at it. It was something I loved to do. I wasn't the best in school. Like, I'm dyslexic, so it's hard for me to, like, get through English class. I was really good in math. I liked school, too. That was another thing. But I was trying to find what I loved to do. And once I found photography and videography, I was like, this is it. And I was a sophomore in high school, so to find something that early is amazing.
Yeah.
And then throughout that year, I was working on different projects. My school is tied with PBS NewsHour.
Oh, word.
So they do different projects where they'll send topics to the different classes around the United States. And one of the topic was people living in America with disabilities. So my teacher reached out to me because he knew about my dad. My dad was born with no arms, no legs. So my teacher reached out to me and asked if I would want to do a story on my dad. And I was like, yeah, of course. So I went through with that interview. I was able to interview Dan Gilbert, the CEO of the Cavs. He's really close with my dad after hearing his story and everything. So that was my first kind of big experience with like interviewing real people, and like I was kind of just thrown into it. It was a project all by myself. So I did the project. A couple months later, it was actually televised live on PBS NewsHour.
Wow.
So that was kind of like the first thing for me to realize, like, oh shit, I can make this real. And a bunch of different things just kept coming from that. I was winning different awards in high school my sophomore year, and then at the end of that year, I started my own freelance company working for other people. And then kind of ever since then, I was like, damn, I can make money doing something I love. Like, I'm just going to go full force into this. And that's kind of what I've been doing ever since. It's kind of translated into something different now. And now I feel like I'm more into marketing and how TikTok works. I can get into how I started my TikTok thing, too, if you want me to.
For sure, absolutely.
So yeah, just kind of I was filmmaking for a while, all through from sophomore year till after high school. My junior year, I kind of realized I didn't want to go to college because I was already making money. Why spend money on school that I probably didn't need? And I learned so much from YouTube.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do this by myself. COVID hit. Obviously, that was hard for a lot of creatives. For me, I was in a pretty big creative slump. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was next. But then I met Smith the year before, a couple months before COVID happened, and that trip definitely changed my life. I met him out in New York, um, shooting a music video. Met him randomly. I feel like a lot of things in my life just kind of just come in fate, and I kind of just let things happen.
Yeah.
And so I met him, and I was flown out to Richmond in February 2020, shot some music videos. Then I came back here and out in August, decided I want to move out here. And so in January, I was getting ready to move, and I also wanted to start something different. And I took it upon myself to start TikTok. I didn't know what I wanted to create, so I was just creating everything. And then about January 20th, my first viral video hit. Got like 20,000 views. I was freaking out. It's like, oh shit. And it was about an unboxing of shoes. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. So I did another post about hats, and that one kicked off. And I was okay, let me try with these shoes and hats and see what works. And I kept going. And then these hat TikToks just kept taking off. And I grew 10,000 followers in a month. And then the next month it was at 30. And then it jumped to 70. And then by 6 months, I hit 100,000 followers. And I was posting 1 to 3 times a day. It was something I just really pushed myself to it. And yeah, that's kind of where I started TikTok. It's kind of where I started my film. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a lot that like people can like take from your story, because it seemed like you found this passion that you wanted to do, and ultimately it led you in many different directions to try like many different things.
No doubt. And that's one thing is like, if I never took that filmmaking class in high school, I would never understand how to make really good videos for TikTok. So it's like anything that happens in your life, it's happening for a reason. And that's something I live by truly. Because like all the knowledge and the cinematography rules and all these things I learned in high school and through YouTube, it's like I put that into my TikTok now. So everything I was doing back then is going into what I'm doing now, which is beautiful for me to see that all that work that I was putting in, that hard work and time, is like it's paying off.
Yeah.
And I still got so much to go.
Yeah,
I'm only 20.
Yeah, facts. I mean, to be so young, to be so young, and to be where you are at now, I can only imagine where you will be at in the future if you continue down like this journey.
100%. I'm excited, man.
Yeah. So yeah, you spoke about like some of the things that happen in your life that can ultimately like catapult you in a direction that will be a benefit to you in the future. So that filmmaking class, it seems like they ultimately gave you the tools to be able to do like what you're doing now. What were like some of those tools? What were some of those concepts they taught you for you to be able to do what you do now?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the things was back in high school is just like really just, I think the most important thing in school is like a lot of people, even in college, like I have friends who are going to filmmaking school and they're not touching a camera right away.
Yeah.
The first thing we did in my high school class was touch the camera. And that was instantly when it clicked for me, like, oh, this is fun. Like I like holding things and actually doing something. So I think a lot of people need to like really get their hands on and just try things, especially when they're young, because it's like if you don't just try everything when you're young, you're going to go to school and maybe those 2 years into college when you already paid $80,000, you touch a camera, you're like, oh, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know if you're going to spend money to figure it out? I think that was one thing I learned young, was like just try everything and see what works and what clicks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers the question, but I think it's really just getting hands on and trying everything. Like there's no reason not to learn as much things as possible.
Exactly. And you know, from my perspective, that's how I kind of like got to like where I'm at now too. It was because I was so curious about like just all of the different like tools that were out there, whether it's like Photoshop, whether it's like, you know, After Effects, just like some of those Adobe products. And I didn't necessarily have the knowledge to be able to like, I didn't have the knowledge, one, but also I wasn't in school trying to learn like those those tools. But what I did was just like I just dove in. I dove in and I just tried to like
You just
figure it
gotta
out,
do
the
it.
process. And ultimately that's what you said. Like you just, because they gave you, even though like at the time you were in school, but they also put the tools in your hands just to try to figure it out, to how to use it and to gain that experience over time. And ultimately it was due to like your benefit.
100%. And I think I think you touched on a great point. It's like people learn by experiences, and I think there's a lot of people who can study for a test and do well on it. I was never one of those people. Like, I would do so much more on a project if I was actually able to put my hands on it. I think there's two different types of people who can study and learn things really well, but also there's a type of people who need to just do it, put their hands on it and just do it.
Yeah.
And you just learn by doing experiences. The only way to learn is to fail.
Exactly.
Like, failure is not a bad thing. Like, failure is a must for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't learn anything in life without failing. So you need to accept that failure is okay. So if something bad is happening in your life, please accept it.
Yeah.
It's happening for a reason, no matter what. Always.
Exactly. I mean, that's a great perspective to have. So with your school being, what did you say? They were a PBS.
Yeah. So we worked with PBS NewsHour.
Yes. So what was like for your teacher to give you the heads up on that, but also to be able to just ultimately have the placement and just curating this body of work for people to view and to see? What was that process like?
For sure. It was crazy is normally first-year students don't tackle the PBS projects, but he just really loved what I was doing in that class. He saw that I was motivated and eager to just win in it. So he reached out to me because I think we were only like 2 months into the class. Like I don't have much experience with interviewing people yet. He just threw me into it, and I thank him so much for that. But a couple of the experiences, just I think going back to it, is just getting thrown into it. It's like working with PBS. There was a lot of work like I had to figure out. I had to write transcripts of every single interviewee that I wrote. Every word that they said, I had to write down. I had to write it down, cut them out, and then I had to put them on pieces of paper to make them make sense. Like, there was a lot of just like time and work and learning that I went into it, but the payoff was amazing. To see my thing live on national television for millions of people so young, like I forget about that because it's happened so long ago, but that was such an amazing experience for me because, like, I don't know, for any creative to see their work finally get put out and to get like what you feel worth, like get that worth back from it, that's the most like amazing feeling ever.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of creatives will go through a really long time of getting nothing back from all the work that they put in.
Mm-hmm.
And me, like Kids at Play, I think we're putting in so much work to what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the time we don't get the love that we deserve back.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Because as long as all of us know that it's coming and it's going to pay back, that's the only thing that matters. But I know as a creative, it's fucking hard when your shit's not getting seen and it seems like people don't care about your work. But the number one thing is making sure that you care.
Yeah.
And if you love everything that you do about your own work, like, I promise you're going to make other people care.
Facts. So the body work, the video, the film that you created for PBS, that was about your dad. Could you speak more about your father?
For sure. So my dad was born with no arms, no legs. They said it was an act of God. When he was actually born, the doctors asked my grandma. Instantly, they took him away. She had him, took him away. She didn't even see him. Usually, they give the kid instantly to their mom. And they were like, "We need to talk to you. There's a problem with your kid." She's like, what's up? Like, tell me. So they're like, "It's okay if you don't want to keep them." She's like, "What?" And then, so they told her, "Your son has no arms and no legs." She's like, "That's my fucking kid. Like, give me my kid. I don't care. I'm going to raise him." And that was just my shout out to my grandma for that, first off. And then, next couple of weeks, obviously, the doctors are talking to them, telling them that he's never going to be able to have a family, go to a regular school, draw, drive. Pretty much just telling them that his life is going to be worthless. And my grandpa told the doctors he's going to do every one of those things and more. So growing up for my dad, I don't want to say it was easy for him. it was definitely hard. He had a lot of different things to figure out. He has to think about doing so many just for him to shower, he's got to do it in a completely different way. Um so going throughout high school, he actually went to a regular high school. He has a family. He learned to draw with his pen and pencil on his shoulder. He became an artist. He was doing drawings and making Christmas cards. Um and he was just trying every single way to prove those doctors wrong. And like I said a while ago, it's like they said it was an act of God. So for a while, he was mad at God, and he didn't realize why he was made that way. And then he accepted that the reason he was made that way was to inspire people, because he was put on this earth for a reason. And ever since then, it's like everything he does, he's inspiring people. Like I said, he can drive now. Like, if I posted a video on TikTok of him driving, it's got 500,000 views. Those 500,000 people are seeing something that is impossible, but is possible. Like,
Yeah.
he's literally just a spitting image of like anything is possible. And I mean, he's just done everything that you can think of. He can swim. He's flown a plane. Man is just like super inspirational to me and to anyone who he sees. Like, it's really cool. He works with a lot of kids who are also born without limbs, certain arms or certain legs, and he'll actually mentor those families as they get older to help those kids kind of know what to do and how to look at life, because when you're born that way, everyone looks at you differently, so you got to look at life differently as well.
Yeah.
So for me to have him in my life, it's definitely been a true inspiration, because I can't complain about shit.
Yeah.
I can't, because I just look at a picture of him where I get to talk to him, and I can't complain about anything because he's had it so much harder. So obviously I complain about little shit every once in a while, but he always gets on me and says, like, just keep going, like, you got it, like, look what I've done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah. It seems like you picked up a lot of principles and values from him just by the life he has lived.
100%. And it's crazy because, like, I don't see him as any different. Like, when I look at him, I don't see him as no arms, no legs.
Yeah.
But I think growing up with him and being able to experience everything that he's experienced, like, I get to see life from so many different ways. And I think me as a person, I just look at life so differently than a lot of people, because I look at other people's issues and I try and put myself in other people's shoes.
Empathy.
And I think a lot of people are really selfish in this world right now, where they don't put themselves in other people's shoes. And I think that's a big thing, because when you get to do that and you get a little glimpse, you'll never get the full glimpse of what someone's going through, because
100%.
only them can feel that. But if you can get a little glimpse and understanding of what people are actually going through, you see life completely different.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, I'm blessed to be only 20 and kind of figured that out so young.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, everything I do, I have empathy.
Yeah.
Because I understand what people are going through. And that's why if I can use his story to inspire other people, and that I'm going to do that every day.
Yeah. There was a season for me in which I wasn't looking at, like, other people's perspective, and it was really a detriment for me. Just the relationships I was having, and I would continue to bump my head, and then I wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, I got to the point of, like, what you said, to be able to look at another person's shoes, to kind of feel what they feel and understand, like, their POV of, like, how they view the world.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I got that perspective, and I understood that, but it was like there was like a period of time in which I didn't get it.
For sure.
And now when I have conversations or I have, like, disagreements with people, I do try to look at things from, like, their perspectives, their shoes, and understand, like, why are they saying what they're saying?
Yeah.
Why are they doing what they're doing? Why had they done, like, what they've done?
Yeah.
Basically. And that's a pretty powerful tool to really have in an arsenal, because it opens up your perspective of life, and for you to be able to see that, like, your perspective is not the only perspective that there is. And so that's a really powerful tool to have.
For sure. I'm blessed, because another thing too is, like, I grew up in the suburbs in Michigan, so, like, I grew up with, my school is pretty 50-50 white and black, but also, like, growing up in the suburbs, like, going back now and moving to a super diverse city like Richmond, I've just learned so much about the way that people live. Like, I just really getting out of your hometown is something I really urge a lot of people to do, because for me to have the ability to really step in other people's perspectives, but also to move out and see it in like other places, you just learn so much. Like,
Yeah.
I see things at home like that I would have never seen before, like how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just how people act, talk, and do things. It's so different in different places. Like, people really need to get out of where they're like raised and really just experience life, because there's so much more out there.
Yeah, so much more, and it's great once again to do it while you're young,
Yeah.
because as you get older, you have that experience and you will be able to navigate the world much more, not easier, but like in a better way, you know?
No doubt.
Yeah. So what gave you the foresight coming out of high school wanting to start like a business?
Yeah. I knew not going to college, like I had to put everything I had to into what I was doing, was filmmaking and photography. And I didn't do TikTok or anything yet, so it was that was the only thing I was doing. My dreams was to just be a tour photographer, videographer. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What gave you the foresight to start a business?
Yeah. So going back to that and not going to college is like I knew that was what I had to I had to go full force into. So everything I was doing, I was trying to just work hard and build clients. And in Michigan, I had a really big clientele. Like, I was working with a lot of different brands, a lot of different people. I was doing really well, but it was kind of just not the work that I wanted to do. And then I met Smith like the year before COVID happened, and through there, through him and his team, like Kids at Play and everything, I kind of realized there's more of like a business aspect to this. I don't only have to be a photographer and videographer. So now I'm expanding in what other things that I'm doing. So through TikTok, I also started a couple different online businesses. I have one website where I sell my own pins, some of my hats, some of my clothes. I come out with exclusive pins and sell them to my fans. And then I also have another website to where people can buy and resell fitted hats. And for me, it's like I knew I was never going to make enough money only doing photography and videography.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Like, I can. But I don't want that to be my only source of income. Like,
sure.
I want to make as much money as possible and make as much passive income as possible too. So I'm just always thinking about different ways to make different businesses or different business opportunities. And I think ever since high school, I've been thinking that way. And like, you don't really know where I was going to, like, the whole filmmaking thing. I never knew I would go into TikTok and I'd have a couple online different businesses, but doing all that leads to that. So It's just like trusting the process of where you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah. It's a journey. It's a process. And your story will not be like anybody else's story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beautiful thing, because you can live the life that you want to live, the life that you imagine to live. And it seems like you are going in a direction to live the life that like you possibly imagine.
No doubt. I mean, kind of going to it, my dream, my entire life, not my entire life, but when I started filmmaking my sophomore year, and then kind of finding the music and concert photography route my junior year, ever since then it was, let's go on tour. Like, my dream is to go on tour. And thankfully this year I went on 2 tours. I went on tour with Smith, but I also went on a national tour with an artist, IDK. And to be able to accomplish one of my dreams so young, it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, more dreams,
more goals and bigger goals.
Yeah.
Like last year when I was talking about moving out here, all I wanted to be was a photographer and videographer out of Richmond and do a lot of work with artists here. But now once I moved here, I realized like I can do so much more. I can have my own businesses in LA or in New York or wherever I want to. I'm not only a photographer and videographer. I want to do so much more.
Yeah.
So it's just knowing your dreams are possible. Anything is possible, man.
Facts.
Anything.
Yeah. That moment when you met Smith. Tell us about that.
When I met Smith, shout out Smith. 2019, October, in New York City. We were there for a film festival. I had a couple of my music videos get in and nominated for some awards. And he had a documentary, I believe, that was nominated. And there was an opening night party. He's obviously from Virginia. I'm from Detroit. We were both there. I almost didn't go to this because I was already graduated high school, but I still wanted to go because it was my last like high school contest or whatever. So I went to New York, and there was an opening night party, and I saw this kid dressed cool, kind of hype like me and like cool. So I went up to him, chopped it up, told me he made music. I was like, oh, cool. I was making music videos at the time, so I was like, what kind of music you make? You make SoundCloud rap or you make like real rap? Because I was in Detroit, there's a lot of people who make music and who aren't really serious about it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find people with my work to kind of make serious music videos. No one in Detroit really wanted that, so I kind of chopped it up with him, showed me his music, and I was like, damn, this is dope. This is really good. We were staying in the same hotel in Times Square, and it was like 3 a.m. We were like, bro, let's just go sneak out, shoot a music video in Times Square. Like, why not? We're here. Let's do it. So it was like 3 a.m. We snuck out, maybe 2 hours, shot a music video. All I had was one camera, one lens, and we shot the Hammer Pants music video. That's how we met. Ever since then, we just clicked. And February, I came out here, shot like 4 music videos in 5 days. Came back out here for a week and a half in August. And that's when I realized I wanted to move out here and work full-time with Kids at Play. And that whole experience, man, it's like if I never went to New York, if I never took that film class, I never got submitted, I would never be here right now in Richmond.
Yeah, your life would probably look totally different.
100%.
Yeah.
And that little moment in New York changed everything. And that's why I think it's so beautiful for all of us to look at it as like, this is fate. This is meant to happen. This is going to happen.
Yeah. So what do you think people can take from that? You know, obviously having the film school, not really wanting to go to New York, but deciding to go to New York and everything that transpired.
I think it's kind of just trusting everything and really living in the present. I wasn't a full believer on living in the present back then, but something I've learned over this year was definitely to live in the present. Don't worry about the past and don't stress about the future, because is it real? The only thing that's real is the present. It's right now. So it's I put a lot of, I was thinking too much about whether I should go or if I was going to win or not. And I kind of just said, I'm just going to go and let it happen.
Yeah.
And then all the experiences there, I just let happen. And I think ever since then, I kind of just, the same thing. I just let everything happen. I went to Richmond in August, and I was like, I should move here, and I let that happen. I made it happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. If you wake up late and you miss your bus or you're late to work, like, you could have gotten an accident if you still went. It's like, just relax, like, accept whatever that is happening to you in your life. It's happening for a reason, I promise you.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I learned from my dad. It's like all the things that he went through, it's happened for a reason. He was born with no arms, no legs, so he can inspire millions of people.
Yeah.
I was able to get that perspective and look in his shoes and realize, like, okay, that's true.
Yeah.
It's really true. And he showed me that anything you want to do in life, you can do.
Yeah.
He wanted to drive a car, so he had to buy a van. He was 18. He had to buy a van, raise $50,000 for all the modifications just for him to drive the car. He had to design the brake pedals. This was a process. This was a couple of years in the works without even knowing if he could drive it yet, but he knew he could do it.
Yeah.
And then when he turned 19, he was able to buy the van, raise enough money to get the modifications, and he got his license.
Yeah.
He made his dream happen. You can make your dreams happen. My entire life, I wanted to go on tour. On October 30th, IDK tweeted, yo, I need a tour photographer to go on tour tomorrow. And I just happened to have 2 weeks, like, and I replied with some of my work, and he replied an hour later, yo, call me. Called him, and I was going on tour the next day. It's like, if I would, I can plan to go on tour one day, but I just let that happen whenever it was supposed to happen, and it was completely random. The next day, I was on a flight to LA.
Yeah.
It's like, you just gotta trust
It's
where you are. I promise everyone, it's like, wherever you are, just, you're there for a reason. Just trust yourself.
Yeah.
Wherever you're going, you're gonna get there. You just have to believe in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's another big thing, is believing in yourself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. Yeah. 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 I mean, I think what you did, like, you spoke with intention about the things that you wanted to accomplish in your life, and you did the work, and then things just started to like gravitate towards you because you made your intentions known.
No doubt.
Like you said, you wanted to go on tour. You didn't know when it was going to happen. You possibly had faith that it was going to happen, and it happened. There was no way that you could have constructed the way it happened, right?
Never.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing. It's like people like to plan so much about how things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just trust it. Just go day by day, and it's gonna happen if you truly believe in it.
Exactly. There's this concept or this theory. It's called the bridge of incidents, right? So it's basically like when you make your intentions known, when you want something to happen in life, and like you truly believe that it's going to happen, then there's like these incidents that happen to make the thing that you want to happen, and it seems like that's what happened. Like you made your intentions known by saying that you wanted to go on tour. And you didn't probably like think about it, like you just did the work. You did so many things surrounding that, and then when the opportunity presented itself for you to go on tour, like you did some work, and then it seemed like it happened. Boom, that's incredible. Yeah, I know that moment like had to feel amazing,
bro. I could cry about it right now. I was literally jumping up and down, FaceTiming my parents. I was like, I'm going on tour, like. Bro, that was a dream of mine. Like before I moved out to Richmond, all I wanted to be was a concert photographer, tour photographer. Like everything I researched was about that.
Yeah.
So to accomplish that goal, and like last time I was here, you were talking about the power of writing, and one of my 2021 goals was go on tour, and I made that shit happen. And I wrote it. RVA is gonna change my life. Like I write. Please write down everything. Like, the power of writing, what this man says is true. It's like, you write it down and you manifest. That shit is real, I promise.
Yeah.
You write it down and you really believe in yourself, that shit will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is 21. This is 2021 now. This is going to come out in 2022. But basically, like what he said, like anything that you want to happen in your life, make sure you speak it. Like I said, anything that you want to happen in your life, make sure you speak it. Make sure you write it. Make sure you see yourself in that position, and make sure like you believe it. And if you believe those things to come true, they will come true. They will come true. So like that's incredible that you are writing things down. And for those people who are seeing this in the year 2022 or beyond, make sure the things that you want to happen, make sure you write those things down specifically. Speak those things and see yourself in that position. And like I said, like those things will happen. It's so much power in the things that you speak, so much power in the things that you write, and make sure like you believe that these things are tangible and they are possible to happen, and they will happen. I say it so many times.
I don't know. It's a really weird thing for people to maybe grasp when they don't really understand it, but like, man, like when I think about doing some of the things that I do, like you have to mentally put yourself in those places, like you said. It's like when I wanted to go on tour, I had to like I was meditating a lot last year too, and I was literally putting myself in front stage shooting those concerts.
Yeah.
And like I get goosebumps thinking about that shit, and those goosebumps when you are in those situations are a really good feeling too. It's like it's a really weird concept for anyone, I think.
Yeah.
But you need to really just try it. There's no reason not to try it. And you just got to learn from these experiences. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to write down. I'm not the best writer. I'm not a biggest fan of it. I take a lot of voice memos too. I'll record what I say. It's like you said, the power of what you say is so true. It's like you put it out into the universe, like you can truly create things. It's like don't live in this world where everything is fixed. That's not true. Break all the rules. Like this world is not what you think it is. Put yourself in these other perspectives to really see what's possible. Because anyone who gets locked in this route of going to school, going to college, working in 9 to 5, it's like those are the people who don't see that these dreams and what their aspirations are possible, because they get stuck in this world that stuff is not possible. That stuff is possible. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see anybody else doing extraordinary things in their lives, at one point they were in a place where they wanted these things to happen. They desired for these things to happen, and it
And
happened for them.
And they knew it was gonna happen.
And they knew it was going to happen. So like if you see like anybody else doing that, like you can do the same thing for your life. There are books, there are videos that you can watch. If you want to do like a YouTube search, look up this guy called Neville Goddard. He speaks about these things. One of the books that I recently just finished, which was my 60th book of the year,
Damn.
was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and it speaks to these things. So, and there's so many books out there, so many things that you could look up, so many articles that will tell you these same things. Just kind of like do your research, go out there and make these things happen, because like we said, like anything that you want to happen in this life, you can absolutely make it happen. I am a what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. I am an example of that. NHP is an example of that too, and there are so many other people out there who are an example of having these desires, believing these desires, seeing themselves in the position, meditating, and putting themselves in position for these things to happen. And if you truly want these things to happen, they will happen.
Yep.
They will happen.
I kind of want to touch on another thing too that goes along with that. Is like one thing I think is really discouraging for a lot of creatives and everything is like seeing other people succeed. For a while, and I think 2020, I was kind of in a place where I was envy and jealous of other people of where they were, and I was, why am I not there yet? Why am I not there? But then I kind of realized something that was changed everything for me is like everyone can win.
Yeah.
Everybody can win. If you look at other people's competition, it's just taking yourself down, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you live by the fact that everybody can win, which is true. There's a million other photographers out there, but all of us can succeed. There's a way for all of us to do it. Anything you want to do, there's going to be other people doing it.
Yeah.
But why worry about what other people are doing or where they're at? Like they have a whole different life. You have to live in yourself.
Yeah.
One thing my dad told me is the only person that's in this world that can stop you from doing anything is yourself. Don't be your own speed bump.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that competition, like there's no need for competition. There's no need for it. There's this book called The Science of Getting Rich, and in the book it tells you don't necessarily worry about the competition, because there is an abundance of opportunities if you believe it to be true. There's abundance of like everything,
Yep.
especially in the time that we are living in right now. There's an abundance, so you don't have to worry about like what someone else is doing, as long as you are doing the work, putting yourself in position to live the life that you want to live, that you see for yourself, the manifestations that you want to happen, then these things will absolutely happen.
No doubt.
They may not happen in the way that you foresee them to happen, but they will happen for the better. And if you look down, there was like this meme that I saw like years ago that many people saw. You look down like the bread aisle, there are many different types of
so many
bread.
different brands.
So many different type of breads, so many different types of brands. And there was those people, those companies who created bread. I'm sure they didn't say like, I shouldn't do this because this bread already exists. Somebody else is already doing it. So that didn't stop them. That shouldn't stop you. What's for you is for you. What's meant to happen for your life will happen for your life, and just go for it.
Go for it. What's stopping you? Yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's stopping you.
Exactly.
Shit's hard, man. Life is hard. Everything you got to do is hard. Every obstacle you're going to get, nothing's going to be easy. Anyone who's gotten anywhere in life has worked hard.
Exactly.
So if you got a goal, you got to believe in it, and you got to work hard for yourself.
Exactly. So the synergy that you and the kids at play, when you came down here back in February and created like all of those videos, those music videos, what was that process? How did that feel? And the reaction of like people once they saw them.
Yeah, man. I think so like I said, back in 2020, I was in a big creative drought. I didn't know what I wanted to create or how I wanted to create. And then I wrote down so many times that moving out here was going to create a different creative spark for me. And just being surrounded by people who are really like-minded and hardworking and want to push you to the best of your abilities, that's the number one thing. That's an amazing thing to have around you. So I knew moving out to Richmond, having 8 other guys push me to my what I needed to do, and they wanted the best for me. I knew that my work was gonna just excel out here. So when I came out here, I felt like I was in high school again, in my film class, just making fun videos every single day. It's like all this work that I'm doing with them, it's not work.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Like everything we create, it's just having fun.
You can see it.
And we're putting in hours. Like for the commercial, we probably planned that 60 hours, just sitting in my apartment, writing out the script, figuring out the different shots. Like it's a lot of work. But if you put that intent and you know what you want to make, like you can do it.
Yeah.
And then obviously getting people to see it, it's amazing when people here can see it. But like going back to what I said earlier, some of the things I feel like a lot of people aren't seeing our stuff.
Yeah.
And it's okay because I know they're going to see it.
In due time.
It's going to do time and it's going to take time. But I definitely wish more people are going to see it, and I know they're going to see it somehow. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm figuring out a way to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. I love the commercial that you guys created.
Thank
like
you,
that's once I saw that, I hit up Jacob and I was like, "Yo, bro, like this show is like fire." And y'all recently dropped another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, y'all should continue to do those.
For
I
sure.
can imagine you guys will continue to do those because those are like truly inspiring, and it shows the amount of work that was put behind it, the thought process, because like that definitely shines through. And
it was only like a 2-minute video commercial, and it's crazy. Like going back to my TikTok, it's like, okay, I'm learning so much about people's attention spans. Like, we need to make a short commercial. People need to know about what we want so quick. Like, everything I learned through TikTok, now I'm putting into my filmmaking. I don't know, man. It's like whatever you're doing, you can use it in other ways too. For that commercial, it's like we planned so much for it. And now I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's too long.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's such a great film. One thing we're trying to do is like we can tell everyone who we are and what we want to do. But if we can't show them, then they're just not going to believe it. So that's why we came up with that commercial. Yeah. Because I was like, we need to just show people what the fuck we are. Yeah. Who we are and what we believe in.
Yeah, and you need to say it. You need to define like who you are for people, so they understand like, yo, this is who they are.
Yeah, man. We're not just a group of kids who want to make music. Like, we're a group of 9 to 10 artists who are incredibly talented in all of our different ways. Smith being an artist, Jacob as a fashion designer, managing Smith, like just managing is an art in itself. Like everyone in our group is just doing really amazing things. It's inspiring as fuck to be around them every single day.
I can imagine.
And like for them to push me, and I think our number one goal is to inspire as many people out there to do what they love. Because that's what we're doing. Yeah. Earthtone, our DJ. He wants to be a DJ. He's going to make that happen. Yeah. I'm a photographer. I'm going to make that happen.
Yeah. That's incredible, bro.
It's like anyone can become famous or whatever for whatever you want to do nowadays. Like, you can monetize off of anything. So if you want to be a famous book writer, you can do that. What's stopping you?
Yeah. What's stopping you? Yeah, exactly. So it seemed like you got the TikTok game on lock.
I got it pretty down, I would say. I'm in a little slump right now. It's hard. You definitely go through a lot of creative ways with it.
For sure.
If I'm not having fun with it, it's hard for me to create on it.
Yeah.
One thing I've kind of noticed is like I'll be really invested in my TikTok, and then I won't do as much photography, and then it'll kind of switch, and then I'll do more photography and not really working on my TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the balance in between the two.
Yeah.
But I definitely have figured out. I've just studied it, bro. Like, there's so much you can learn about the app, about how much the time lengths you should post, what you should post, how to get people's attention, how to grow followers. There's a lot of things out there that can help you grow, and I was on top of it. It's something I wanted to do, and it changed my life.
Yeah. Truly,
it's changed my life. It's paying my bills to live in Richmond, and I'm meeting so many different people out of it. I'm now working with different brands, doing like sponsored posts. Yeah. I'm only 20, bro. It's like that's going to one of my biggest goals is I just want to inspire people to live their dreams and what they want to do. Like, this was my dream forever. I just wanted to be like a content creator, photographer, just do what I love, but also be able to make money at the same time. And I'm blessed to have the opportunity to do that, and I want to show as many people as possible that it is possible. You can do it.
That's amazing.
I'm 20, bro. If you're 14, 13, 10, 12, 18, you're 20, 30, 40, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just got to go. You got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for you to not only want to live your life, but also to be a catalyst for other people to live their lives too at the same time, that's amazing. To be able to want to help people and to give back in a way that like you give back, it's only going to be amazing for you in the future.
No doubt.
Because it seemed like you're really selfish, and you could kind of tell you can tell that you get those qualities from not only your family but your father too.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. And it's like, I don't know. It's just I'm in a place where I just achieved one of my biggest goals ever, and I'm trying to figure out what's next. What do I want to do? It's like, I obviously have goals written out that I want to do, but what am I here for? What's my purpose? What do I want to do? Yeah. And right now I've just really figured that it's to inspire people, bro. It's like I'm in an amazing opportunity right now where I can inspire whoever I want, and I know I can through what I've experienced. I can take my dad's experiences, I can take my mom's experiences, my sister's. I can take everyone who I've met and put their ideas and isms into what I do. And I just really want to show people, no matter how old you are, what you want to do is possible, bro. Yeah. I think that's my biggest goal for probably my life right now, is like, I want to show as many people as possible it's possible.
Yeah. Because it is.
It is.
It's possible.
It's what's stopping? It's that question, what's stopping you? Mm-hmm. It's always yourself. If there is something, don't blame it on other people, because it's not true. Yeah. If your car's not working, you can find another way to get there. Mm-hmm. It's like the only thing that's stopping you is yourself, your head, your mental space. It's not easy to get that right. Yeah. Like finding the way to be positive about everything. That's another thing my dad taught me. I've dropped so many gems for him. It's like, if you look at things negative and you think negative all the time, just negative things are going to happen to you. Yeah. Going back to what he said, it's like whatever you speak in existence is going to happen. Mm-hmm. If you put positive things out always, you're always thinking positive, you're talking positive things will naturally come to you.
Positive things will happen, yep.
And even if something negative, we'll say negative happens, you can look at that negative thing as a positive. Mm-hmm. Every failure that I have, anything that happened to me, I can find a positive out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the power words is so powerful. And you can see that for the people who are listening, for the people who are watching, you can see that with like the people who you are surrounded with, mm-hmm. whether those people have a positive life or a negative life per se. Like, you can see that just based off of like what they think and the things they say. And if you want to see like a bigger example, you can just look at like people in the industry, whether it's like rappers, right? Specifically like rappers. The rappers who speak more positively, positive things happen in their life.
Yep.
The rappers who speak negatively, negative things happen in their life, whether it's like through their music or the things that they say. Like those things, there's power in your tongue. Life is what they say, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So be careful of what you say. Be careful of what you say. If you want positive things to happen in your life, speak those things. Yep. If you want negative things to happen in your life, those things will happen. So just be careful what you say and the things that you put out into the world.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that 1,000.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, you went on tour with IDK, and it seems like there's another tour that's about to happen or has happened with Kids at Play, or just with Smith.
Yeah, so Smith went on a couple city tour. That was kind of, I forgot when that was, like September, August. And then, I was on a 2-week tour with IDK. Mm-hmm. Man, so I don't know if you want me to get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was Halloween night, 6 p.m. He tweeted, "Yo, I need a tour photographer in L.A." He said it L.A. and I was like, fuck it, I'm in Richmond. I'm still going to reply. I replied with some of my work, and then I got a DM an hour later saying, "Yo, call me." So I called him, and he's like, "Fuck with your work, like, what kind of camera you got, whatever." He's like, "Can you come to LA tomorrow morning?" I was like, "Yes, fuck it, like, of course." And I just happened to have 2 weeks off, which is not normal for me. So I'm on a flight the next morning, 4 a.m. I don't even know how to pack for a 2-week tour. Like, that shit's crazy. So I pack like 2 bags because they told me pack light. I had all my camera equipment, and then I fly to LA. I meet up with them, hop on the tour bus. Tour bus experience is crazy. I'm in a little bunk. It's like a coffin or something, but honestly, it was super comfortable. But we went from starting in LA, then we drove to Portland, went to Seattle, back down to San Francisco, down to LA, and then we drove 3 days or a day and a half to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Chicago, Chicago to New York, New York to Philly.
Mm.
So it was a really crazy experience. I was just having fun the entire time because it was a dream of mine. I was getting a little tired towards the end, but for the most part, it was just an amazing experience. I got to see so many different types of people and experience so many new places, and it was just like a beautiful experience, bro.
Yeah.
And that was, like I said, that was my dream. Like, that's everything I wanted to accomplish. And honestly, it looks like a blur to me now. It's only been a month, but it's like, did that really happen? It's crazy, bro.
I mean, you got the pictures to show.
I do. I got a lot of footage. Yeah, man. That was like, I had a crazy story. Like, I walked on the tour bus one time. I was looking down at my camera. I sat down, and then I look up, and Macklemore's sitting right in front of me. It was just like, I was seeing all these like really crazy people that I don't know. It's just like to be in that life of what I've just dreamt. Not that I dreamt of meeting Macklemore, but Macklemore is like one of those figures that you just see and it looks like a movie in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
There was just a bunch of other people I can't even think about who I met, but I just met a lot of amazing people for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's a moment. That's a moment. That's a moment, you know. I've had a dream. I've had like many different kinds of dreams, and so like once, you know, you think about it, you meditate it, you write it, you speak it, and then like when it finally happens, it's just like it feels so surreal in that moment because you dreamt about that moment like for such a long time. It appears, and once you realize like once it happened, you think about like it wasn't really that long. It wasn't really that long, and it's great to be able to have those moments to be able to sit in those moments to see like everything that's happening surrounding in that moment. And once you go back to real life per se and you think about it, it's like, man, like that was an incredible time.
That was crazy, bro.
In your life, and it's to be grateful and appreciative to be able to have that moment. It's so rare, and you realize that like if that could happen, if that happened, then like so many other things can happen for you too.
Yep.
Which is amazing.
It was just, life is all about experiences and just learning from them, and that was definitely an experience that I was learning. It was a 2-week school of just what is tour now. Like, this is a dream I didn't really know about, but now I'm here. Like, I wanted to learn everything about it. I think that's another thing. It's like I just study everything. Like, I want to know how to do as many things as possible. I was asking the tour bus driver, like, how the fuck was this opening or working, or how does he drive a certain way? I just want to know, like, other people's experiences. And being on tour, I learned so much about the music industry, how tour works, concerts, and now I'm putting all of that into Kids at Play. Now, when we go on our first national tour, I'm going to know so many different things just because I had that experience.
Yeah.
All of my experience that I've had all are leading into what I'm doing in my life. Yeah. And I think it goes for the same with anyone. It's like wherever you are and whatever you're doing, it's like you might not know why you're there right now, but you're going to probably use that later on in your life.
Yeah, 100%. So just go down that stairway. Even if you don't see the light at the end of it, just continue to go walk.
Just
go for it, bro. Like it's going to change your life, especially if you put your intentions out there and you believe that the things that you want to happen will happen, and it's an amazing place to be.
It's an amazing feeling. It's crazy for anyone who doesn't have that click in their mind yet of knowing things will happen for yourself. But definitely when you get there, like, I know I'm going to succeed and be an amazing entrepreneur one day. I don't know exactly what that entails, but I know it in my mind and I can feel it. And I think there's a difference between cockiness and confidence. And I think in my situation, I'm just very confident with myself.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I think anyone who's jealous or looking at will see that as cockiness. And it's those people who don't realize that I'm just thinking that way because I know like it's something that's possible.
Yeah.
It's like when you start to believe in that, you'll understand.
Yeah.
So a lot of people might not understand that how I believe in myself so much, and you might not believe in yourself so much, but you just got to trust the process and where you're going, and I hope one day you will get there.
100%. Like, honestly, like, if just listen to this. Like, if you were born, if you could hear this right now, if you were born to win, because birth is so extremely difficult. Birth is so extremely difficult. So for you to be here in this space, in this world, you were born to win. So anything that you want to happen in your life can absolutely happen.
It's crazy. It's like just being alive, like the possibility of being here right now. It's like you don't realize how lucky you are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us won't realize how lucky we are until we're gone or we can't do it.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'll never work a job that I don't love to do or work on something that I don't love, because why am I going to put my time and energy into something that I'm not all about?
Yeah.
So find something that you love and just go all in. I promise it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
I promise.
So right now I'm gonna get you to speak with a little bit more intention. Where do you see yourself, being 20 years old? You got some time before you hit 30, 10 years, 9 years, whatever. Where do you see yourself within like the next, 3, 8, 10 years?
It's crazy because looking back a year ago, I never saw myself to where I am now. And through all my experiences, I'm learning to just dream way bigger. And a huge quote that I live by is, I heard this about a month ago. It's a lot of people they overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 to 10 or 2 decades. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And after achieving one of my biggest goals, I'm trying to figure out what's my next biggest goal. And it's definitely to be able to inspire as many people as possible. Where I see myself in the next 3 to 8 years, I just want to be on a way bigger level. Like, I want to be speaking and reaching so many more people because I know it's possible. I want to have a lot more business endeavors. I want to be, I really want to build Kids at Play to where it needs to be. Kids at Play is going to be an amazing company one day that just helps a lot of different artists, but also showcases all of us in our group. So in the next 3 years for sure, I'm going to have figured out how to blow Kids at Play to be one of the biggest creative groups, if not the first creative group to ever be a thing. For myself, in 3-5 years, I think I just want to just still be as positive and hardworking as I am, but I also want to probably have a bunch of different houses in LA, New York, and be renting them out as Airbnbs, but also if I need to travel there and do work, go and do work there.
Yeah.
Photography and videography, I just want to make music videos with cool artists. Like, I love music videos, is what I love to do. So I want to work with maybe Baby Keem one day, or I don't know who I want to work with. We'll see where I don't like to plan too much shit out. Like I said, I like to really live in the present.
Yeah.
But I don't even know where the fuck I'm going to be in next year. It's like it's hard. I definitely have a lot of goals. Yeah. Anything, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have time. Things and experiences are going to change your perspective of things, of life. And as you continue to go down this journey and experience different kinds of things and, kind of like give yourself balance, that's one thing I wanted to speak about earlier was like, just give yourself balance, give yourself time to like figure things out. And, the grander things will happen as you, be present in the moment and enjoy the time that you are here in this space right now. But those concepts and ideas will come to you, especially as you will continue to meditate.
Yep.
And the more knowledge you obtain will come to you. So like, 3 to 8 to 10 years, 20 years, whatever I can imagine will be what you want it to be, and so much more as you continue to speak with intent, continue to share with people, to continue to, want to do for people.
For sure.
It would be an incredible thing for you and the people who are surrounding you. So we like to end this thing off with.
I want to ask you a question real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where do you see yourself in 38 years? Because then I know when I look back at this, I wanna see us both in those places.
100%. I mean, that's the first time someone has ever asked me that. I'm honestly like in a space right now, just trying to like figure what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to give myself time like every day to forecast or to project myself in the future. I intend for this platform to be everywhere.
It will.
For so many people to be inspired, to get the knowledge, for people to be able to find their passion so they can like live out their purpose. This is what this platform is here for.
It's beautiful.
And for me to be able to continue to do what I do at like such a higher level. Like I just love to create.
Yep.
I love to create like films. I love to create like platforms. I love to put myself in position to, you know, like you said, like to inspire like so many people, and that may come in different forms as new technologies come out.
Yeah.
You know, different opportunities present itself, and I just see myself living a life that I want to live with purpose, with technology, and to be able to create just different things, and that's what I see for myself.
That's dope.
Just continuing to obtain knowledge to put into the things that I create, to be able to, you know, help people.
Yep.
That's the ultimate goal.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
And so like, you know, I'm super grateful to be able to do it now, but I definitely foresee it like becoming much more grandiose, much bigger, and I feel like it's a great place to be.
No doubt.
So that's what I see for myself and the people surrounding me. And, you know, I'm going to continue to write things down. I'm going to continue to meditate on things. I'm going to continue to speak things and see myself in these positions. And so it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's
No
going
doubt.
to happen. Thank you for asking that question, because that was the first.
Of course.
That was the first. And, you know, I can imagine, you know, the many seasons to come, and, you know, to be able to look back at this moment right here and to see the things that I believe will happen will be like a moment.
Yeah.
A moment in time.
It's crazy, bro. Like I said, it's like for me to be able to look back at this shit that I've written down is like, and that's the same thing what we're saying right now. When we look back at this and we actually accomplish those things, like, bro, it's a different feeling. You don't know unless you're there, really.
100%.
But you'll get there.
100%. So, what's that gem? What's that last gem that you want to drop? That you want to leave people, to be able to live the life that they see for themselves, and how can you inspire them?
Dreams are not impossible. A lot of people look at dreams as something that is a dream, not real. It's fake. It's imaginary. That's not true. Dreams can be a reality if you make it your reality. Dreams are what we believe. So if you believe in something and you work for that, you're going to achieve it. Those dreams are a little glimpse of what you have later in life. So if you have a dream, go for it. Don't stop working for it. Nothing's going to be handed to you, ever. Trust yourself wherever you are. It's going to take time. It's going to take years. It's going to take a lot of work, 10,000 hours plus. It's going to take crying, sweat, tears. It's going to take all of it, I promise. But when you keep going towards that dream and you know it's possible, it's going to happen. And when you achieve those things, it's amazing, but you're probably going to think, okay, what's next? So never stop asking what's next, but also never think that your dreams aren't possible, because anything in this world is possible. I promise. Follow your dreams. The only thing in this world that can stop you from doing anything is yourself. Shout out to my dad. He told me that shit. Thank you, bro.
Shout out to your dad.
Look Mom No Hands on Instagram if anyone wants to go check him out.
That's incredible, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for this time.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for dropping all the gems.
Hey, I felt like I needed to speak today, so today was a perfect time.
The inspirational word that like people will take, and this I can imagine this will do numbers for the years to come, and like when this drop.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
For real. My name is Antonio Knox. That is NHP, and this was The Gradient Radio.